Sports Scene, Hampton Roads' premier interview show with Greg Bicouvaris, each Saturday from 1 to 2.
And you look at that, 4-4 at home, which is just average, 4-3-1 on the road. I mean, you're not going to win any games like that. They were not the same team after they beat the Packers, yet the Packers were a totally different team.
Interact with Sports Scene on Twitter @GregBick and listen weekly as Greg interviews distinguished guests with excellent commentary and insight. Sports Scene, Saturdays at 1 on AM 1650, The Answer. When it comes to automobile service in Hampton Roads, Fink's Car Care is the destination locals have counted on for decades. Family owned and operated, they specialize in transmission service, oil changes, state inspection, radiator service, tires, alignments, and showcase Win Automotive products. Fink's does it all. Military and senior discounts are available. Like them on Facebook and visit them at 2711 Victory Boulevard in Portsmouth. For more, log on to finkscarcare.com and call 485-5555 today. From Chesapeake, Virginia, WHKT presents Sports Scene. Sports Scene features local, regional, and nationally acclaimed guests and excellent interviews. Follow Sports Scene on Twitter @GregBick. Now here is Greg Bicouvaris.
Sports Scene for week 2 in January, midweek now online and Saturday on the radio from 1 to 2, right here on News Talk 1650, 92.5 FM. Glad you're with us. My name is Greg Bicouvaris. Sports Scene is an interview show. Also watch sports highlights on nnpstv.com. Tell your friends about gjbtv.com and click the YouTube link on the homepage for archive audio and video. Twitter @GregBick, and you can see the rest of my Twitter handles on gjbtv.com in the contact section. Thank you to our military guest lineup presented by Me Casita with 2 locations in Virginia Beach. Sponsors on gjbtv.com, marketplace sponsors, and Hampton Roads onlinemall.com. Phone line presented by Spaghetti Eddies. Show is presented by hrsmhof.com with our big ceremony in 2018 later this year. Gruden now with the Raiders, Alabama the national champs, UVA looking good in basketball, great interviews, business segments, highlights, commentary, what teased me off. Thank you for making the habit to listen to Sports Scene weekly, and we love our regulars, newcomers, and tourists. Stay tuned.
Good Italian food, daily specials, and a place people enjoy is Spaghetti Eddies. Indulge in their mouth-watering pizza, pasta, subs, salads, appetizers, and desserts. Open 7 days a week. Log on to SpaghettiEddiesPizzaCafe.com and visit them at Taylor Road in Chesapeake for lunch or dinner, and like them on Facebook. Italian food you can count on is Spaghetti Eddies. When it comes to automobile service in Hampton Roads, Fink's Car Care is the destination locals have counted on for decades. Family owned and operated, they specialize in transmission service, oil changes, state inspection, radiator service, tires, alignments, and showcase Win Automotive products. Fink's does it all. Military and senior discounts are available. Like them on Facebook and visit them at 2711 Victory Boulevard in Portsmouth. For more, log on to finkscarcare.com and call 485-5555 today. Catch up on archived editions of Sports Scene by going to gjbtv.com and clicking the YouTube image on the homepage. Now back to Sports Scene with Greg Bicouvaris.
All right, back on Sports Scene. Always a pleasure to talk to Dave Johnson, a man I've known for several years, even back when he was broadcasting Navy and I was doing George Mason. Dave Johnson, of course, you've seen him on Comcast Sportsnet, WTOP, part of the Wizards, also a big part of MLS in the DMV. How are you, my friend?
Doing well. It's here we are. It's a new year, and you mentioned MLS. It's not that far off that they get that going, DC United and soccer, but we're in that critical point before the All-Star break in the NBA, and this is a time where the Wizards they understand the mission is they've got to continue to push forward because they let some games slip away in the first half of the season. So we're in a critical stretch right now.
Yeah, they're right in the middle of that 4-pack in the top 8, and they've had injuries. All teams have had injuries, but what I'm really surprised at, too, is some of the competition's gotten better, like the Knicks and the Sixers. They weren't relevant last year.
No, and that's the story with every NBA season, which is, as much as people will say, well, it's so scripted, it's all going to end up being the Warriors and Cavaliers, and maybe that will be the case. But I've been doing this a long time, and every year there is that X team that you don't necessarily expect that it will all of a sudden become a top 8 team in a conference. Does become a top 8 team in a conference, and so that certainly is part of the challenge of while you continue to grow, you don't grow in a vacuum, and the competition doesn't get any easier, and that's that gets back to the pressure the Wizards have on themselves because they let some games slip away the first half of the season.
Absolutely. And, of course, now the NFL is almost over. College football, Alabama's national championship. So, really, the focus is going to be a lot on them. College basketball is heating up. So, really, it's, people always talk about the All-Star break, which is still several weeks away. Usually the NBA teams play well over 50 games. So, by the time the All-Star break's around, there's only a few more weeks left, really, in the season. Yeah, and that's why I reference it being a critical stretch. Because it's not like you're getting to I think we think of it as a halfway point, but it really isn't. It's you've turned the corner to the home stretch, and when you come back after the All-Star break, it comes fast, and all of a sudden it's a thunderous finish to the season where you come back from the All-Star break. Essentially, you feel like you're in March. Next thing you know, the season's over in early April. And so, that's where it gets down to the fine details, the real jockeying for the playoff position that goes on in that final, 45 days of the season. So, that is why, again, I'll emphasize this is such, a critical point as we talk about, the first month of the year, because you've gone through whatever, trying to find out your identity or your team, integrating new players, whatever the reason is that maybe you haven't achieved the full amount of success you want to achieve, now the excuses are out the window. If you're healthy, then it's time to get it done. And the Wizards, every team deals with injuries, but injuries have not been the story of the Wizards season. It's been inconsistency. And as I say that, it's still a team with a very good record, but the frustrating part is it could be a better record. Absolutely. And really, you talk about that too as well. And you and I have talked about this off the air is like, for example, the Celtics have played well over 40 games. Some teams have not even reached 40 yet. Yeah. I mean, but at the end of the day, they're all going to play 82 and it is, everybody's got a story. And whether it's, recently we had a situation where we played Memphis on a Friday night and a late game, even East Coast standards, it was a 9:30 game because of television, and you had to play a second of a back-to-back. And then, we've already done 2 West Coast trips. Some teams still has a West Coast trip to come, and so it's going to all wash out. And I don't think a team has ever made or missed the playoffs because they were given a favorable schedule over the others. This is not like college basketball where you can get an undefeated record by scheduling weak teams early on or whatever it is. You can't schedule who you play. Everybody's got the same kind of challenges, and then from there it becomes challenges of winning and how you play it. But everybody's got a road story. So at the end of the day, that's not going to impact how this season goes on. It's going to be, the teams that are consistent, have players that can make plays in critical situations. And that's what gives the Wizards, confidence that they've got gamers. They've got the John Walls, the Bradley Beals, Otto Porter certainly developed into that, Markieff Morris, Marcin Gortat. I just named the whole starting lineup, but that's been a strength of this Wizards that, 1 through 5, this is viewed as a very good starting lineup. And the bonus has been the bench this year has been better than last year. So, where the pressure is, it's a team that had 49 wins, made it to the Eastern Conference semifinals. All that's great. But if you've done that
the previous year, the bar is put on you to go even higher. And this is a team that knows it has to go even higher, and that's where the pressure is, and it's only going to do that if it becomes more consistent.
Talking to Dave Johnson, Greg Bicouvaris, glad you're with us, at Greg Bick on Twitter. We'll get to Dave's social media in just a few moments, but it's about rest and recovery. Like you said, you've already been on the West Coast already. Those back-to-back games start creeping up. You're already pushing, close to 45, 50 games here in a few more weeks, so it really is. And sustain. That's the thing. NBA's all about sustaining. Not many teams can be like the Cavaliers and start off real slow. It's almost like a golf game. We'll spot you 4 or 5 holes and we'll make up from 5 to 18. The Cavs can do it. The Warriors can do it, but not many other teams can do it because once you start getting in a slump, it's hard to get back.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think, if you're in any kind of extended slump, you need to be a very good team, which fortunately the Wizards are. But in the case in point, last year they got off to a 2-8 start and still finished with 49 wins. And the translation on that is, they're a good team, and they were better than that 2-8 record, so they could recover from it. But again, as I mentioned, you don't want to mortgage too much of the future because the future is a great unknown, and that also includes, and this applies to the Cavaliers as well, and the Warriors for that matter. It includes, injuries that could come at the wrong time. You certainly don't want an injury in March as you're getting ready for the playoffs and that type of thing. So George Allen, the legendary Redskin coach, once used that phrase, "The future is now." Well, that's the kind of mentality that all teams in the NBA really have to have in the month of January.
And, of course, WHKT carried the Wizards during the 16-17 season. Congratulations to AM 1230 in Hampton Roads that'll carry a dozen games this year. And, of course, Wizards on the radio is still very relevant. And, of course, that I always tell people that are not in radio and TV, you need a platform like radio or TV. I know the Internet has changed everything, but radio and TV are still, to me, number one and number two of getting content out. Would you agree, Dave?
Well, as much as things change, and especially, on the radio side, and I talk to this with fans, all the time, is radio is the medium that is things keep changing. It adapts well. As I'm talking to you on a telephone right now, it's the medium that, while you can watch television on your phone to some degree, the telephone has become the transistor radio of 2018. So, you can get your information in so many ways, in so many forms. But, as we're still driving in cars and we're still a very active society that, certainly the radio, goes wherever you go, and people listening to this interview right now are put in that category, and it's the ease of use and the dependability that radio and also TV, for that matter, provides. That it still is the access point to so many sports fans.
Yeah, not to mention TuneIn. People can listen to the show on TuneIn, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. There's so many different platforms. Like we said, look how things changed when you first did the Wizards from the interaction standpoint. There was no Twitter back then. There was no radio party back then.
No, well, there wasn't 5 years ago, barely, or 6. I mean, Twitter is and all these. I remember in the last part of 10 years ago, last decade, when we were doing blogs, and that was considered a real time blogs where you could interact with people in real time, and that was like, wow, that's. But now it's you have. 12-year-olds getting entire newscasts on Snapchat, and it just, it really, you almost need to hire a full-time social manager just to keep up with all your options. But that's why also, radio and what we do with the social media is, paired so well, because typically people always have to be doing something else along with the one thing they're doing. They want a second screen, as I guess is the term that's used. So it's, we're not getting, any less busy, that's for sure.
Absolutely. Talking to Dave Johnson with his time, his talent, his treasure, and all his graciousness for being on the radio and online with us as well. Greg Bicouvaris with Joe Daniel. Glad you're with us right here on 92.5 FM, 1650 AM, and tunein.com as well. You're busy. We're all busy. And, of course, that's just part of life when you do 82 games, on the radio, and, of course, not to mention your other duties as well. Tell the fans that have seen you on TV that might not know you from the radio. Of course, they hear the Wizards Report here as well about some of the other things you do, like soccer and everything else.
No, I keep a pretty busy dance card. I'm about to go into, I guess, my 23rd season of Major League Soccer. Maybe it's 22nd. I've lost count, but that's starting up shortly, and down in down in the Tidewater Way, I know we're going to have an affiliate this year, and in Richmond, if people are listening, we'll be on CW in Richmond for DC United games, and I'm still anchoring at NBC4 in Washington and WTOP, which is an all-news radio station in Washington. So I keep myself pretty active in the Washington sports scene because, you know what, ain't a bad way to learn and live it. You're hanging out and covering games, and it's still the greatest thrill for me to show up at a game every night and be in that environment and be with the fans who have a shared passion. There's so many things that in this world that we argue about, but at least sports is a fun thing to argue about.
Absolutely. Talking to Dave Johnson right here. What else is, going back to the NBA, has surprised you so far in the month of January? Is it the Lakers drama with, the kids and the young team and the father ball? I've never seen a more narcissistic human being in my life. But you saw recently where Carlisle spoke out against him and some of the TV networks as well. He has become a big distraction.
You're talking about the ball situation in Los Angeles?
Yes.
Yeah, no, well, it's... that's certainly a different situation, although, over the years in all sports, we've had people that have become magnets, not because necessarily what they do on the field or on the court. I mean, I think our head coach, Scott Brooks, had an interesting take about Alonzo Ball's father, just talking about that he wished he had a father in his life that cared so much because Scott Brooks grew up without a father. So, it becomes a bit of a circus at times, but it's also it's just noise out there, and at the end of the day, everything I've heard about Lonzo Ball, he's a good player and a good teammate, and as kids grow older, and I say kids, young players grow older and start to take on more of their own life, I think, his quality will prevail. And, whatever's going on with his father or that whole situation is, that's family dramas that now every family drama plays out because we got reality shows and just what we just mentioned, the number of social media options there are that, gets everybody involved.
Talking to Dave Johnson. Dave, another team back in the NBA that's always done very well during the regular season, so-so in the playoffs, is Toronto. They seem like they're clicking pretty well. Lowry, of course, has always had his back issues, but let's talk about that team and what are the threats that you see going forward for the rest of the season for the Wizards. I mean, obviously the Wizards like to be in the top 2 or 3. Right now they're in the middle of the pack, like we said earlier, but who are the teams that you're concerned about as the season goes on? Of course, on any given night, anybody can beat anybody.
Yeah, and I think also, and I know I'll sound like a coach saying this, I'm just concerned with the Wizards' ability to reach their potential, because if they don't, it's not going to matter whether it's Toronto, whether it's Milwaukee, whoever it is. It really is just that simple. You have to take care of your own, because those other storylines are going to develop. And look, we're in the same category. With Toronto. Toronto's had some success in the regular season and then not been able to advance like they want to in the playoffs. We've done a little bit better, and we actually eliminated them in a playoff series. But again, the 3 of the last 4 years we've made it to the second round of the playoffs, but that's it, and we've hit a wall. So, recently this month we played the Milwaukee Bucks with Giannis Antetokounmpo, who's again, they're a team that has a player that can make winning closing plays down the stretch. Those are the kind of teams that concern you because that when often NBA games can be settled by one possession, you need those one possession type of players. So a Milwaukee Bucks team is got to be on the radar. So that's why you do have to take care of your own because who's going to make that last minute surge? Who's going to fade toward the end? That's what we don't know how it develops. So you better take care of yourself because there's plenty of suitors out there that they want that second and third position behind Cleveland, and that's the Wizards thought they were going to be challenging Cleveland for that top spot, and obviously right now stuck in the middle of the pack, it's not happening. So for that to happen, they've got to get on a serious run like they did last year in January.
You're right there in the DMV, of course, right in the heart of politics. President in his second year. We saw him recently at the national championship game. Has he been to any Wizards games? And what's been the reaction at home and on the road, especially when you're at home, right in D.C., with the national anthem and that as well as on the road?
In the NBA, the national anthem is really has not been the issue it's been in the NFL, and I don't know if it's been in any other sport beyond the NFL, but there's been not a situation that I've encountered this year in any of the home or away NBA games where there's been, the anthems have been played and everybody respectfully stood for them, and that was the extent of it. So, that really has not been, an issue. And for as much as DC is a political town, it always has done a pretty good job of separating its politics from sports, and while in Los Angeles and those places they have A-list actors and that type of thing as the celebrity guest, typically in this town we've had politicians, whether it was Donald Rumsfeld at the height of wartime or political pundits or that type of thing. They can be the A-listers at Capital One Arena, but everyone's always respectful of them. But we haven't had a visit from the president, and not that I expect. When we had Barack Obama visited once, that I remember a Wizards game, and the one thing about a presidential visit, and you appreciate why this has to be done, but it is a logistical nightmare because so many security precautions have to be in place. While whatever the president is, it's always quite an honor when they come to your game. It's also a bit of relief when they leave because and I've been going to games for 30 some years, and anytime a president shows up, I remember at an Oil game at the time the first president George Bush was there, and just all the precautions at that time. And then this is way back in the 80s. So that's why we don't get presidential visits very often, because as much as being president probably affords you a lot of opportunities, actually taking advantage of some of those opportunities is quite a challenge.
Dave, leave us with all your social media, how people can interact with you every day.
We hope you connect on the radio party, and we can connect when you listen to Wizards games. It's at Dave J Sports. We always invite you to use that hashtag radio party. We respond to every single tweet. Even if it takes a couple of days, we get back to you, and because again, radio is the most personal of all medium, and it's always been that way. If you're listening in your car, I'm in your front seat with your car. If you're listening on your earbuds, I'm in your ear. I'm literally inside your head. So we hope you connect at Dave J Sports, and again, it's the most exciting part of the NBA season is about to hit us. And the Wizards are right in the middle of that excitement. So we hope we have some folks join us for the journey.
It's a great opportunity. It's a lot of fun, great entertainment too for the fans. The Wizards are always doing special promotions. Dave, thanks. We'll see you very soon, my friend, and all the best at home and on the road.
Look forward to it. Look forward to it always.
Thank you. Good friend Dave Johnson right there, friend of the program, voice of the Washington Wizards. Stay tuned. We'll be back with more of Sports Scene after these messages on 1650 AM, 92.5 FM, tunein.com by typing in WHKT after this.
Sports Scene, Hampton Road's premier interview show with Greg Bicouvaris, each Saturday from 1 to 2.
And you look at that, 4-4 at home, which is just average, 4-3-1 on the road. I mean, you're not going to win any games like that. They were not the same team after they beat the Packers, yet the Packers were a totally different team.
Interact with Sports Scene on Twitter @Greg Bick and listen weekly as Greg interviews distinguished guests with excellent commentary and insight. Sports Scene, Saturdays at 1 on AM 1650 The Answer. Good Italian food, daily specials, and a place people enjoy is Spaghetti Eddie's. Indulge in their mouth-watering pizza, pasta, subs, salads, appetizers, and desserts. Open 7 days a week. Log on to SpaghettiEddiesPizzaCafe.com and visit them at Taylor Road in Chesapeake for lunch or dinner, and like them on Facebook. Italian food you can count on is Spaghetti Eddie's.
Join Virginia Beach United Methodist Church for Financial Peace University, where you'll discover how to manage God's money in God's way. Learn to eliminate debt and build wealth through 9 video lessons from best-selling author Dave Ramsey. Classes will be held on Mondays at 7 p.m. from January 22nd through March 26th. You can preview the course on Sunday, January 14th at 9:30 a.m. and 11 a.m. Childcare will be provided for those who register by January 14th. For full details and to register, visit vbumc.org.
Sports and Imports, located at 1322 Transylvania Avenue in Chesapeake. Sports and Imports specializes in all European models without the European price. ASE certified and Bosch certified. Don't waste time and money guessing what the problem is. Sports and Imports can pinpoint the problem and fix it the first time. Make an appointment today. Financing is available. Visit sportsandimports.net or call 545-9394. Interact with Sports Scene on Twitter @Greg Bick. Email bicogb@hotmail.com. Now back to Greg Bicouvaris in the Hampton Roads OnlineMall.com studios. It's now time for Greg's Highlights, presented by Hampton Roads OnlineMall.com.
And our good friends Raj over at Nestle's Toll House at the Tech Center Newport News. Brand new, warm, hot, delicious Toll House cookies, cookie cakes, savory flatbreads, paninis, wraps, also crepes as well, savory and sweet, ice cream and ice cream sandwiches, milkshakes, and a variety of coffee. Folks, you got to try it. Nestle's Toll House. Go by and see Raj at the Tech Center in Newport News. Great staff. They'll take good care of you. Free parking as well. All right, now time for highlights. Don't forget gjbtv.com. Click the YouTube link for archive shows. Sports Scene is online on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, radio Saturday from 1 to 2. HamptonRoadsOnlineMall.com. Browse, shop, visit, bookmark it. gjbtv.com, as well as HamptonRoadsOnlineMall.com and HRSMHOF.com. Snow is finally melting. NBA and college basketball season is rolling on. Still winter, still cold. Bundle up. All right, question presented by Buffalo Wild Wings and Newport News to Joe Daniel. What is your favorite meal when you have time to sit down and enjoy it?
Favorite meal, let's see, probably brunch. Kind of a mix between breakfast and lunch. I like to sleep in. I don't like those early mornings, so just like a 7 o'clock breakfast doesn't appeal to me whatsoever. So I like that later on, 10:30, 11, maybe even noonish, kind of breakfast, lunch. So definitely brunch with some good mimosas. That's real good.
So when your kids knock at your door at 7 a.m. on Saturday or Sunday, that's not a great time.
No, it is not. It's not the best time. They're fortunately great sleepers. They sleep in on their own. I've been very blessed. They sleep in until 8:30, and they can make their own cereals and Pop-Tarts. We have that. So, yeah, they're pretty self-sufficient.
All right, Buffalo Wild Wings in Newport News, lunch, dinner, great apps, excellent mozzarella sticks, salads, boneless traditional wings and burgers, wraps and sandwiches, tenders, macs, beverages, desserts, a kids menu, games on TV, wings, beer, and sports. Go by and see Paul and the great staff and watch some excellent NFL action, NBA, college basketball. Phone number is 249-3999, right by Patrick Henry Mall in Newport News. Excellent place for comfort food is Buffalo Wild Wings in Newport News, your home away from home. CP Shuckers, locals tradition, Shore Drive, Pacific Avenue for delicious food, great appetizers like steak bites, excellent sandwiches, burgers, specials, all the games on TV. Go by and see Matt, Mark, and Chef Leon for a great meal. For more, go to cpshuckers.com.
When it comes to automobile service in Hampton Roads, Fink's Car Care is the destination locals have counted on for decades. Family owned and operated, they specialize in transmission service, oil changes, state inspection, radiator service, tires, alignments, and showcase Win Automotive products. Fink's does it all. Military and senior discounts are available. Like them on Facebook and visit them at 2711 Victory Boulevard in Portsmouth. For more, log on to finkscarcare.com and call 485-5555 today.
We're excited to have Dale Parker here in the studio with us from Faith Bible College. Dale's going to tell us a little bit more about what Faith Bible College has to offer in the spring semester.
Hi, Colleen. Students are now enrolling at Faith Bible College. It's open, and we have courses that are in practical ministry and theology or the study of God, courses that give an education in the Word of God. The spring semester begins January 16, and we have courses offering a certificate of biblical studies or an associate degree or just audit for those that want to grow and be more effective in the local church and just increase their knowledge of the Word of God. Low tuition, great instruction with the professors in the classroom, and GI benefits for our retired vets. So go to the web at faithbiblecollege.com or call 423-2095 for more information. faithbiblecollege.com or call 423-2095 for more information.
Good Italian food, daily specials, and a place people enjoy is Spaghetti Eddie's. Indulge in their mouth-watering pizza, pasta, subs, salads, appetizers, and desserts. Open 7 days a week. Log on to SpaghettiEddiesPizzaCafe.com and visit them at Taylor Road in Chesapeake for lunch or dinner, and like them on Facebook. Italian food you can count on is Spaghetti Eddie's.
Virginia Beach United Methodist Church presents award-winning storyteller Donald Davis, who the Los Angeles Times calls one of the most important figures on today's storytelling circuit. Donald Davis will entertain, challenge, and inspire you with the warmth of homespun stories from his childhood living in the Appalachian Mountains. These performances are free and will be held on February 9th and 10th at 7 p.m., in addition to 3 Sunday morning services on February 11th. For more information, visit vbumc.org.
Concerned with what another company told you was wrong with your heating and cooling system? Call Russell's Heating and Cooling for a free second opinion. No obligation, no pressure. Just an honest assessment of what's wrong, or maybe not wrong at all. Our drug-free technicians are factory trained, friendly and clean, and work hard to make sure our customers are 100% happy. Call 757-424-1000 to schedule a free second opinion. That's 757-424-1000. Russell's Heating and Cooling. We make it easy. You are listening to Sports Scene with Greg Bicouvaris. Now, back to Greg.
I want to thank our good friend Brian over at Panera and his great staff in Harborview. Of course, Panera, all items 100% clean. They deliver, catering. Take advantage of the rapid pickup option. They have excellent warm and hot soup, sandwiches, salads, bagels, bread, smoothies, breakfast sandwiches, cookies, desserts, refreshing beverages. Go by and see the great staff. PaneraBread.com. Food as it should be. Phone number is 483-3670. All types of specials going on. You want to go by Panera Bread in Harborview today. All right, welcome back to Sports Scene. Always a pleasure to talk to my good friend of the program, known him for several years. And first of all, thank you for your friendship and Terry's with every radio program I've been on, Brenda, and all the best to 2018 from the Royal Chocolate. How are you today?
I'm doing great, Greg. How are you?
Very good. Brand new year, Brenda. Brand new opportunities, right?
That's what I feel like myself. I'm looking out our window right now at all the construction going on across the street, and while it's not that much fun right now, it's going to be great come summertime when they're all filled with new people.
Absolutely, and spring is not that far away. And the funny thing is, it's been kind of odd the last few weeks. We had Christmas, we had New Year's, both on Mondays, which are kind of rare. Then, of course, the snow came on a few days ago, right. And it's kind of made the holidays continue because school was out for so long.
School's been out, and everything, well, we all know everything comes to a standstill in this area when it even talk about snow. But, this was certainly a force to be reckoned with. And we were closed for a few days or had shortened hours and that sort of thing because you always have to be careful of your staff. And, we don't want people out on the roads when they're so bad. But I know it's felt like a really long time since things have been whatever normal is.
You're exactly right. And not to mention, too, folks, when you're driving, the interstates might be one way, but the side roads to a lot of these merchants, as you know, Brenda, are totally different. The side roads wherever you live in the peninsula or the south side.
Sure. We're lucky here in Town Center. Again, as I'm standing at my front window, we have had the sidewalks are really very clear and the streets as well. So we're not too bad right here in Town Center. But I know what you mean about the side streets. My neighborhood's not so great.
We bring this up on the radio a lot, New Year's resolutions. Do you and Terry and the staff kind of make your own royal chocolate New Year's resolutions, or is that strictly personal?
I think that's strictly personal, although, it's really a fun idea.
Yeah, why not?
Now that you mention it, we actually have our, the holidays are just too busy in here to go out as a group, so we always take our staff out after the New Year. So this Sunday is when we'll go and celebrate with them. But that would be a fun discussion around the table of a New Year's resolution for the royal chocolate. Thank you for sharing a great idea.
No problem. And I remember last year I had a chance to do a Facebook Live from your store. That was a lot of fun. I hope to do that again in 2018. All right, let's talk about what's going on the rest of this month. Always activities. And, of course, Valentine's Day is the next big holiday.
That is the next big holiday. And, I think people always hate to see right after Christmas that you rush into Valentine's Day, but you really have to get your products out there so that people have a chance to see what you're doing, and we will be terribly busy. But, we still have January, and we are actually beginning just this week to make our apple of the month, and it's going to be sea salt caramel chocolate fudge apple. So we'll have the Granny Smith apple with caramel. It will also have a layer of chocolate sea salt caramel and then Belgian chocolate on top. So it's going to be quite delicious, something to look forward to as we round the corner here into a new year.
When you walk into your store for the first time, what will you see? Of course, the shelves are always changing. You and Terry and the staff are moving things around.
Sure.
But there's always constants that are in there as far as chocolate.
I think the constant and the thing that people always see right away is somebody we make all of our chocolate out in the front of the store. And right now, for example, Marbian is busy making the brand new apple for the month, as well as all the other apples we carry. So the first thing you see is activity. Somebody making chocolate, typically. Later in the afternoon, at night, not so much. You smell chocolate. You walk right in, and you begin to experience the store through the case of chocolates that we make here. You see the apples. You get to the area where we have all of the samples that you're more than welcome to try. And you work your way through the store. We like to think of our store as not just selling chocolate. We like you to experience our store, and we like you to experience chocolate, and we want that to be a good experience every time.
Do you know how people go to that famous coffee shop and they have their phone and their computer out and they network with business people? Do you have that sometimes around?
We do, because, we have this nice seating area, and it's not busy, especially in the morning. They're really, because we have a coffee shop right next door, so people tend to go there. But we also have coffee. We have hot chocolate. We have frozen beverages. We have hot tea, that sort of thing. And many people will come here because it's quiet. They like that. They like to sit here by the window and you see the world go by, but you don't have to be involved with it quite that early in the day. So we have a number of people. Some people use our shop for meetings. They'll have a client meeting in here, that sort of thing. So, yeah, we get this. We get that a lot, a little office away from the office.
That's a great point, too, because we're talking to Brenda Tusing from the Royal Chocolate. Her phone number is 557-6925, open 7 days a week in Virginia Beaches. Each generation is different. The younger generations, if it's not relevant to their phone, they don't like a whole lot of meetings. The older generations, when they're retired, they might go somewhere in the morning and congregate as well.
Yes.
How are you finding out with some of the different business groups that you're involved with that how the phone, how time is affecting face-to-face meetings? Because that sounds like so 20th century now.
Well, it's that old, nobody has any time anymore. And meetings, meetings do tend to waste time. There's just no way around it.
Sure.
And so people feel it's more efficient to talk to someone, maybe by phone, but more often, communicate with them through an email, through a social media platform of some type to get the information across, get the information back. And then there are those of us of a different generation who really enjoy that face-to-face time with people, not the building of the relationship or, the continuing of a relationship. We have two ladies that come in once a month, every month, and they're part of a Red Hat group. But just the two of them come in once a month to sit. They do fondue, and they will sit here for 2 or 3 hours and just chat and catch up. It's their thing every month. You can't replace that through social media. You just cannot.
No, face-to-face interaction is what life is all about still,
It is.
whether it's the 20th century or the 21st century. Talk about all the different social media, speaking of, how people can connect with the Royal Chocolate.
Well, we do have certainly what I think is a really nice website. That's primarily to see what we do, deliver locally all year long. We ship seasonally, so we're shipping right now. We'll ship up until, depending, it'll be very weather dependent. We usually look at that March time frame. So our website is one way to see who we are. I think our Facebook is very interactive and very well done. That's a great place to find out what events we have. The first Saturday of every month, we have a great event for kids. It's only $10, and it's make your own chocolate bar, and it's so much fun. So you find out about things like that. I have an email blast that when you sign up for our emails, I send that out usually once, sometimes twice a week if we have something really special going on, something's happening, a promotion. Instagram's such a fun spot for pictures. We're very visual sort of business. There's always something happening, and people just love to look at the chocolate and see what we're doing.
Right. Of course, you can see.
Those are the primary ones for us.
Right. You can see Brenda's link, also the Royal Chocolate, on HamptonRoadsOnlineMall.com.
That's
we look
right.
forward to
Yep,
talking
we're out
to you.
there with you.
Absolutely. Of course, out in the radio world, the internet world, and of course the
We're
shows.
everywhere.
You're everywhere.
Everywhere.
Brenda's everywhere.
You think we're only at 164 Central Park Avenue. Oh, no. We are everywhere.
Everywhere everybody goes, the Royal
Everywhere.
Chocolate's there. Let me ask you a real quick last question. What was your idea as far as starting the Royal Chocolate? Was that something you and your husband were sitting around thinking about 10 or 15 years ago? Whose idea was it, and what were you doing before?
Actually, it was sort of I was not really looking for the Royal Chocolate, per se. I had been working at another job for about 10 years. I was sort of had that flatlining feeling like, I could stay here, but then there must be something else to do, something of more of my own. Terry was a little bit in that same place, and through mutual acquaintances, we had kind of met each other, and, just the Royal Chocolate was sort of born. And truthfully, for me, at least, in the beginning, it was simply about a business model. And it still is, but at the same time, now it's very much about the chocolate. I just so love introducing people to really good chocolate and explaining why it's really good chocolate, teaching them about the differences, all the nuances. It's been a lot of fun. Been very rewarding as well.
And that's the best conversation piece there is, chocolate.
That's right.
All right, Brenda, you stay warm. We'll talk to you again next month before Valentine's.
All right, Greg. Looking forward to it. Thank you.
All right, Brenda Tusing right there from the Royal Chocolate. For more, go to theroyalchocolate.com, and you can hear her link, of course, on HamptonRoadsOnlineMall.com. Outback Steakhouse in Kempsville. Mike and the great staff have a great, spacious, nice new dining area, bar, lunch and dinner daily, hot food, excellent soup, burgers, steaks, salads, appetizers, seafood, pasta, chicken, ribs, chops, warm and hot appetizers, excellent desserts, beverages, dine-in or carry-out, something for everyone at Outback Steakhouse, big sports sponsor in Hampton Roads as well. And, of course, they had the Outback Bowl recently as well. Go by and see Mike Jarrett and the great staff at 1255 Fordham Drive. Give them a call at 523-4832. Lunch and dinner 7 days a week at Outback Steakhouse in Kempsville.
What tees you off? Presented by HamptonRoadsOnlineMall.com.
And our good friends at Oh Yummy Sushi, best Japanese cuisine in Virginia. Give them a call at 631 6888. Go by and see Jasmine and the great staff at 401 North Great Neck Road in Virginia Beach for lunch and dinner as well. All right, what teased me off, Joe Daniel? Change. It's never easy.
No, the only constant in life, Greg, is change.
How about this? When you're in a meeting with several people and the speaker only looks at certain people in the eye but doesn't look at everyone in the eye. That can always be like an issue, like you're not included or you're not part of this.
Well, also just the major eye contact and a prolonged eye contact can make you feel super uncomfortable. Or what's even worse is the speaker that doesn't make contact with anybody. I don't know if they've had like an acting background or something, but they have that tendency to look above the crowd and look way past the back wall. That's never a good way to also present to people.
There are some people that don't like eye contact at all.
Yeah, it's a very intimate thing to do when you think about it. Like making that eye contact, you feel kind of exposed with it a little bit.
Going to the grocery store and you see somebody, the best thing about it though is the aisles are so long, you can duck them by going to different aisles.
Right, or just like try to make it to the next aisle and ignore the other person.
That always happens. It does happen. It's true, especially when you grow up here. Calling over and over to anyone, personal or business, and not getting any results that you need. Having to make continuous phone calls.
Yes, the constant follow-up because nobody will get to you. That's just bad customer service. I mean, if I'm giving you a call and I'm the client, I'm trying to find some kind of security in my business relationship with you, and you're not even giving me the courtesy of the callback. I mean, that puts a really bad taste in my mouth.
Trying to please someone by saying their food or dessert was really good that they made, knowing all along was you didn't like it at all.
Yeah. Being polite, you just kind of like mess with it a little bit on your plate, kind of spread it out to make it look like you ate some. Yeah, that's never a good thing. But, I mean, what else are you going to say? It was disgusting.
True. And our good friends at Craft Burger Bar, 1706 Mediterranean Avenue, Virginia Beach. Go by and see Jamie and the great staff, Ryan and everybody. Great craft chili, fried house pickles, Wagyu burgers like the Coronado, the Greek, the pepper, the shroom, the sunrise. Excellent toppings, excellent snap dogs like hot dogs, chicken sandwiches, salads, vegan burgers, house-cut fries, beer, battered onion rings. Excellent, excellent food is at Craft Burger Bar in Virginia Beach, right near the ocean front at 1706 Mediterranean Avenue. Go by today. Charcoal Chicken, new phenomenon in Virginia Beach. Charcoal rotisserie cooked Peruvian-style chicken. Give them a call at 486-5000. Excellent food, great sides as well, like the yuca fries, the salad, the black beans and rice, kids menu, dessert, drinks. Monday closed, Tuesday through Sunday they're open at noon. Charcoal Chicken right there at Loman's Plaza, Virginia Beach. Go by and see James and the staff. Give them a call at 486-5000. Like them on Facebook. Want to thank our excellent guests. We'll see you again next week for Sports Scene, always online first, as well as radio from 1 to 2 on 1650 AM, 92.5 FM. TuneIn.com, type in WHKT to listen on your phone or your computer as well. Joe Daniel, thank you.
Thank you. I love being a part of the show, and excellent show today, Greg.
For Joe Daniel, I'm Greg Bicouvaris. We'll talk to you soon.